Hello and welcome. My name is Meepolis, they, he, she, and today's pick is I Am Only a Foreigner Because You Do Not Understand by Nichols, published by Secret Acres in 2023. As it will quickly become clear, I picked up this title specifically for my queer TBR. I believe I found it through my library's new acquisition page. Content notes for body horror, COVID, nudity, mental health struggle, parental abuse, unsupportive family, surgery, childhood sexual assault, and fat phobia. Keywords that came to mind reading this volume: poetic, growing up, grief, finding joy, and change. The summary is, quote, some books take the whole of a lifetime to write. I Am Only a Foreigner Because You Do Not Understand continues Phlox, Nichols' graphic memoir of growing up trans in the rural South. These comics document Elle's further transition from living as a man to walking the middle path, facing depression, disease, divorce, and death. Healing leaves scars, things fall apart, and pronouns change until there is no I, there is only us. End quote. While I had seen Nichols' previous work, Phlox, around, I had yet to read it. So it is not necessary to read one before the other, although the added context would probably have been a plus. Otherwise, scrolling through his portfolio website, Nichols is a, quote, multidisciplinary artist with a distinct voice that utilizes the language of science and engineering to add an additional layer of meaning and complexity to his art. End quote. Art-wise, I felt like I Am Only a Foreigner was an extremely visually poetic work. Not psychedelic, it just felt very layered. It used visuals to express emotions, and the heavy dose of body horror also felt like a beautiful blend of nonfiction and genre. The writing was an equally engrossing and layered exploration of the deeply personal, thinking about moving beyond the binary and expanding genderqueer spaces, seeing people who have hurt you whenever you look in the mirror, the negativity of making yourself smaller, physically and otherwise, the impact of all kinds of abuse. There was a lot of pain, but there was also points of purposefully cultivated joy. Both joys from becoming a parent, but also the joys that came from living into the truth of one's trans experience. As a transgender queer person, I always appreciate windows into the lives of people like me. In a world that is still filled with so much police gender binary absolutes, I am only a foreigner because you do not understand was a glass of cool, fresh water. Deep diving into a certain kind of, quote, failed physicality, it wasn't disability discourse per se, but got much closer than most. I also appreciated the ways Nichols touched on the price tag of having one's transness surgically affirmed. Obviously not something everyone wants or needs, but still an important gate that many can't unlock no matter how much they want to. There was some exploration of sexual relationships, particularly in how they relate to Nichols' body and gender, but it wasn't a focus in and of itself per se. Race was similarly not a focus, although there is some visual diversity and racial representation in the background. Place was not a factor at all. Wrapping things up, not a must-read, but very, very good, in my opinion. Both for its subject, but also the way in which it is put together. 5 stars. Bye y'all, keep reading, and stand with striking workers. And Literally Graphic is created on land that should be given back to the traditional landholders, which in this case is, to my knowledge, the Mississaugas of the Credit First Nation, an Anishinaabe people, the Haudenosaunee Confederacy, and the Huron-Wendat Nation.